What's poppin', y'all? Even the Drake fans had to get their brakes pumped for their early celebration on one of the most pathetic moves, saddest moves, punk moves in hip-hop history, which is Drake suing UMG when he's really just suing Kendrick Lamar because he didn't like that Kendrick Lamar labeled him as a certain word. And keep in mind, Drake he's perfectly right to feel that way. However, filing the lawsuit about it is just disgusting. It's unprecedented behavior. And a lot of people, especially Drake stans, they thought that because the court was willing to hear it, that's the development that had happened recently. They're like, okay, this case looks like something that we're down to hear. We're not just going to dismiss it off rip, which is what UMG had hoped for. People thought that Akademiks, who is one of the chief Drake defenders, I would honestly put Akademiks TV, the guy that runs that page, Grand Wizard, I'd put him as the 5-star general, or what is it, brigadier general, whatever it is. He's number one. And then I would say maybe number two is Akademiks, his right hand in this scenario. That guy is Akademiks' right hand in terms of the operation, but when it comes to glazing and defending Drake, that guy is number one. He's the chief, and he's absolutely hilarious about it. I find it so entertaining. However, Drake fans thought that Akademiks was going to be on their side, but unfortunately for them, he decided to go against Drake on this one. And I want to play you guys this one clip, and we're going to get into it a little bit deeper.
Respectfully, for all the Drake fans, y'all only thinking about Drake. Like, brother, let me ask y'all a question. What do you think matters more? Yo, you called a man a certified pedophile, and yeah, you ruined his luxurious brand. Great. Or you've published mad songs that diss my dead brother, and now violence occurred because of that diss. Brother, we need money from you, UMG, as well. So, like, if Drake wins this lawsuit, it's problems, right? But if they sell the lawsuit, this is like the Diddy thing signaling to everybody else. File y'all lawsuits at me. No. UMG's not going to make the mistake that Diddy made, which is he settled something that already is a public spat. You settle it, it tells every mom, like, every mother who your son died as a result of a rap beef, and there's rap songs that's documenting this beef, and another nigga may have rapped, yo, I'm gonna come kill you, shoot you up with the 30 clip, I'm about to shoot your funeral up, you should sue UMG. Bro, they're not gonna sell this. This is bigger than Drake. This is bigger than, it's bigger than the mob. Like, what are y'all talking about? Everybody who loves Drake, listen, I'm one of those people too. Drake gonna have to fight this out and really squabble if he wants this win. But Universal as a company, this is way bigger than just one artist. If Drake wins this lawsuit, it's not only about calling somebody a pedophile, it signals that any song that Universal has released that's defamatory, that has hurt people, that has caused or instigated death, they are liable for. They cannot stand on that. They have to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court. Even if they lose it, it's in court to Drake. They will appeal it until the Supreme Court rules on it.
These were great points that were made. And keep in mind, Akademiks he makes it from a point where he's trying to be a little bit more ignorant, because he goes on to say, like, yo, I love diss songs. I love songs like Who I Smoke. I love songs like Shoulda Ducked. I love songs like the ones that I think Dirk made against Youngboy. I think it was Aha. Things like that are King Von tracks. And if you're going to say that Drake should win this lawsuit against UMG, that's just going to open the door for other people to be able to sue. And if we're being fair, Drake being the biggest rapper, being labeled a PDF, and that's his whole complaint, is that he got labeled this thing that harmed his career. Well, what about all of these other songs that harmed people's lives? Like Julio Fulio, granted Julio Fulio was an independent artist. This wasn't put out by UMG or any other major. This guy recorded a music video at someone's gravesite, at his op's gravesite, and I don't know if he was, it was ridiculous levels of disrespect, and that was with the Who I Smoke saga. And the amount of people that died or went to prison that were involved with Who I Smoke, either being dissed or being a part of it, is just scary. Like, that Jacksonville rap scene disintegrated within 9 months. probably, I'm gassing it, within 14 months, it was gone. We hadn't heard of a Jacksonville rapper since then. We don't even know what's going on with Young and Ace as of now, which is probably a good thing, because if we haven't received bad news, then it probably means that he's still alive and kicking, which is really a magnificent accomplishment for somebody that's gone through what he's had to go through. But I think we can look no further than Chief Keef, or really just the whole Chicago drill scene, and Tuka, including Lil Durk. Like, imagine you're the mother of someone who, and we know FBG Duck's mother has been one of the most vocal of all time, but imagine you're Tuka's mother, and your child, his nickname has gotten so popular and associated with smoking that the majority of people that were even using the term Tuka, that became a global term, by the way. So people that don't even speak English, they don't even know what the context is of it. They just say that they're smoking Tuka to signify that they're smoking weed, but they're really smoking on a dead teenager that died at a bus stop in Chicago. I think that she has more of a right to be upset than Drake does. And what Akademiks is trying to say is like, yo, if you guys are Drake stans, then, and you want to support this, then that's really true standom, is just following it to this nutty professor level of just absolute, like, it's blind support. Just like you're following, he's telling you he's Moses and he's about to split the sea, and you're walking into the sea and you're like, yo, the sea ain't split yet, I'm about to drown, and you just drown and pass away. That's that level of faith that they have in Drake, because I don't like this at all. I like Drake, but Akademiks also gives another example, and we're going to get into something later on, which I think is a really, really good point, but there is a little bit of a caveat that we can make on it.
Memo-digital. Stop with this is not true thing. Like, if you think their culpability only exists if they push the record a lot artificially, nobody gives a fuck, brother. You are the publisher. The publisher of these records are Universal Music Groups. I understand y'all love Drake, and I love Drake too. But if you're trying to say Drake getting called a is more hurtful than all of these kids that have died and there's songs about them, fuck this nigga, he resting in piss, we smoking on his deads, like, you, brother, everybody's got to file lawsuits then. That's the point I'm trying to say. Again, whether Drake wins or not, I don't really give a fuck about the lawsuit. I'm not here rooting for a lawsuit. I like Drake for music. I don't like Drake for lawsuits. I'm sorry to tell y'all. So don't get mad at what you want. But if Drake wins this, I would tell every mother, every person that your son ever died as a result of a song being made that antagonized, threatened, promised to harm him, you should file a lawsuit against UMG. It's easy money. Drake is going to do the legwork, because I'm telling you, this has never been successful. I have 3 other cases I could bring up to you where people said that, yo, we're going to sue Universal because the music they published. Because here's the thing, it's not about, you're not going to win billions of dollars because, oh, yeah, we kind of promoted this song more. Who the f cares? You're going to win money because that company should have not published a defamatory song, which I do believe it's a defamatory song, but it falls within art, and it's like a legal loophole where it's like rap, it's art, so it's not defamatory. Because here's the thing, there's people who...
So here, there was a Drake fan, that was saying, well, no, it's because they botted this song. That's why Drake is suing, or that's why this song has, not a right, but Drake has the right to go at this song and not all of the other diss songs that have happened in the genre, or just being released in general. And Akademiks goes on and is like, Doug, what are you talking about? And that is a good point. Like, how are you going to prove that one song was pushed or marketed more than other songs? And then you can just come up with the argument of, well, we can take any song that was involved with Kendrick Lamar or Drake, and we allocate a significantly higher budget to marketing these songs than we do for our middle tier artists or our lower tier artists. So we just marketed this song more because it's dropped by one of our biggest artists, and this is how much we spent on the Drake track. So it's very simple to get out of something, or weasel your way out of something like that. But this just goes to the delusion exclusion of some Drake stans. And I will say I do believe that there are some that are just getting behind him because they feel like, oh, this is the little guy going up against a man. He's going up against this big corporation. But if he's going up against this big corporation and he has the money to do so, and he's trying to say that he's trying to keep people in that building safe, well, why didn't you do that when all of these other people were getting dissed, all of these other people were getting slandered, all of these other people were getting harmed, shot, killed, drugs? Like, Juice WRLD explicitly said, I got hooked on drugs because I listened to Future, and I was like, 13 or 14 years old, and I decided to try them, and I got addicted. So that you didn't want to go in on any of those artists or any of those songs, but now suddenly you're going to take up the mantle for all of the other artists because it affects you. Yeah, anyone with half a brain is not buying that one. But the interesting point that Akademiks made was talking about the moral obligation that UMG has, and is there a line? Because the way that they're going to squeeze out of this is going to say like, hey, look, that's that artist's artistic expression, freedom of speech. This is released in America. It was made by an American artist. Because there are some rules in the UK, for instance, regarding music videos and even lyrics, I think, where you're not allowed to put certain stuff. And a lot of drill artists in the UK, they had their careers screwed because they would have a music video that's doing millions upon millions and they're blowing up, but the music video gets clapped because the government's allowed to take it down if it violates certain laws. And it's not like they're doing crimes in the video, but just talking about certain topics is enough for the UK to get it shut down. So that's why I make the distinction between the UK and the US, and this being a US artist that put out this song. So there are more protections there for him and for UMG in this case. But I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
No obligation for what they put out. Now, I would bring in a Kanye song. I would do that if you ask me. Universal and other publishers would not put out Hail Hitler. They would not put out that song. That song to them was dangerous. That song was anti-Semitic. That song to them was not, it was so hateful, they looked beyond the art aspect. Complete. And if I'm Drake, I'm using this angle. And Drake, Lord, if you use this, I'm about to build Drake. I ain't gonna lie. That's an angle you could use. Because Universal's, their angle has always been, we put out whatever, it's the artist's job. So if you have a problem with what was said, sue the artist. That's what they said to Drake. Sue Kendrick. Why are you suing us? We put out everything. But you don't put out everything. Right? Kanye's music about Hail Hitler could not be put out on DSPs and was actually even rejected because it was so hateful. So there is a line. So the idea that there isn't a line is false. So what is that line? And that's where we're going to have this argument. Is a line dissing somebody's dead homie? Is that the line? Is a line making a call to action and say, yo, when I see that nigga, we put him in a box? Is a call to action, yo, when I see him like that nigga dead, is it calling someone a woman beater, child molester, a PDF? Where's the line? So that's the argument. I love seeing this get argued in court, but this idea that, you know, we just think, let me tell you this, if Drake wins this, I'm telling you.
So this moral obligation thing is a good point. Now, I do think the Double H song by Ye is not the best to use because Ye was not under UMG when that released. Now, you could talk about songs like Black Skinhead, or what are some other tracks that could really be considered hateful by Ye? I can't really think of many others. And you could say, like, hey, there's a hypocrisy here because Double H, you didn't let that release, but Ye wasn't under Def Jam when he released Double H, he was independent. So he just couldn't find a distributor for the song. And the song, no, I think he actually did get the song distributed, but the song was taken down by the platform. Was it Apple Music and Spotify that took it down? So it wasn't the record label that took it down. So I think that's where you can't really make that argument, although I don't think UMG's letting a song like that even release. So internally, I believe that there are limits where, okay, this song's not going to drop, and it's not going to drop because we feel like this goes too far. And we can estimate what goes too far by what they're not messing with. Like, if you think about it, they've released, we can find and have found songs that have done well, that have been released aimed and talking negativity, hate, violence towards damn near everybody. But Ye drops that song, and I don't think we can find a UMG song that is released that's similar to that Ye song. So yes, there's clearly a line, and I would like to see that explored in court, but I would just like to see it to be where it says, oh, now you're allowed to release anything, or what are they going to do? Impose them to release songs or publish songs like Double H that Ye dropped? I don't know. I don't know if you can really force a business to put something out. Now, that's why Drake is fighting them for allowing them to put something out that's defamatory. That's different. Regardless, I do think this is going to be, and I've said this before, it's one of the most entertaining lawsuits that we're going to see because we're breaking new ground here. It's sucker ground. It's a sucker move, absolutely, but it's breaking new ground and entertaining ground. So it can be sucker activity and entertaining at the same time. So we're going to watch in disapproval. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, this most recent development. Do you think this is going to go far? Or will Drake eventually drop this? Like Akademiks said, I don't see UMG settling with Drake from this. There's no way that they settle. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm see y'all in the next one.